Hello everyone, we're looking at this template of a space adventure and we're going to just change it so the rocket will actually go into the sky. So let's just click on to see what we've got already. So it says click on me and then it takes the character inside the rocket and says what planet shall I fly to. So basically what we've got there is we've got two backgrounds. So if I click bottom, sort of near the bottom where it says background, and then click on the tab, second tab along, you can see we've got 1, 2. We've actually got a blank background, so we can just delete that. So what we'll probably do is we'll add a third background. So I'm going bottom left and click on it twice, and I'm going to have a background which looks as if it's high in space. So I'll choose perhaps galaxy. There's a number to choose from. Now you can see the character's still showing, so at some stage we're going to have to hide the character. Notice the rocket's hidden as well, so let me show you why that happens. So if we look at the little character who's called Monet, you can see you've got some different faces and stuff. So Monet could actually mend the spaceship later on if we use Monet D. But let's just look at the code, top left code. Now it looks quite complicated, and we looked at that in a video, and we looked at that last week. So I'm not really going to go through that all again, but you can find it as space 2, and it's called takeoff. So what I'm going to do, just to make it easy, in case you have not seen those previous videos, I'm just going to get rid of that. And then if we look at the rocket, I'm just going to get rid of that as well. So we've got Monet, and at the moment she's on the background 3, which was the galaxy one. So if we click on that background again and see what that's called, so it's called galaxy. So we want Monet to be on this one where it says Space City. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to say, when we click on Monet, let's just go back to the original of costume 1. So she says that, but before she says that, we want to change the background, make sure it changes to Space City. So switch backdrop to, can you see it says galaxy there? So let's just try that and prove it doesn't work properly. So there we go. So we want that to say Space City. And then we also want the rocket not to be hidden. So we're going to say at the beginning, we want the rocket to show. So again, it's under looks, and it should be down the bottom, show. So what we want to do is when we click on Monet, we want something to happen. So we'll click back on Monet down the bottom on the sprites. There's 2 sprites here. And she changes to a small character, 30%, which is really good. But what we really wanted to do is to move towards the rocket. Now that's down the screen. So it's actually going to be a glide down the screen. So what we'll do is we'll click on motion, which is the top one, and we'll say at the beginning we want her to be at a particular place. Now you can see the coordinates there, so there's a little bit of maths there. So we can change these coordinates. So I'll just make that 150 and minus 100. So make it some easy numbers so that you can actually... Now I've made a mistake there. Can you see I've done it for the rocket instead of the character? But rather than typing that in again, I can actually drag that onto the character. And then I can get rid of that one for the rocket. So it should be there now. There we go. So we want her to move to that particular place. Now you can see it's actually wrong because she's behind the rocket, so we're going to have to tweak that. So the x-axis, I'm just going to make that 100 instead of 150. So it'll go a little bit to the left now. Still not right, so I'll put a small number in like 0. Now you can actually make that a minus number as well, so I could make that minus 100 and then she go over that side. But I want it just in the centre, so in terms of the horizontal position. If you want it in the dead centre of the screen, you have to put 0, 0 in. So that's too high now, can you see? So that's why we've got to put a minus number in there, minus 50. Now you'll get used to this and it'll really help you with your maths, your coordinate work. So we want her to, when we click on her, to glide over to the rocket. Now a little trick is if you move her to the rocket, and then the coordinates change automatically. So if we choose that motion block glide there, it's got the new coordinates in. So I won't change those. And then we just want her to hide so that your brain thinks, that's under looks, your brain thinks that she's actually got into the rocket. So you can probably guess that we've got to show her at the beginning. So let's just try that. So click on her, she glides there, and it looks as if she goes in. Now we then want the rocket ship to take off, so we're going to have to send a message. So this is called a broadcast command, and this is the most important command, I would argue, in any gaming environment, because it allows the characters or the sprites to interact. So we're going to send a message. So let's just think about what that's under. Events, I think. Yeah, broadcast message. Now that message, we need it to be labelled, so it's a new message, and it's going to be takeoff. So it's when it gets to the end there, she's going to hide, and then she's going to send a message. Now clearly the message has got to go somewhere. Well, it's going to go to the rocket ship. So when it receives the message, it's going to go up the screen. So it's going to glide up. Now we've got to find out where it is in the first place. So the rocket ship, that's the starting position. So we want the rocket ship to go up. Now based on your maths, let's just make that a little bit smaller and that's a bit bigger. Hopefully you think about that being the y-axis. So that's going to be, instead of a minus number, it's going to be a big plus number. And the screen goes up to 180, so I'll make it go up to 180 perhaps. Let's make that bigger again. So when I receive takeoff, I'm going to glide. Now I'm going to go straight up the screen. So I'm not going to change the x-axis, I'm going to change that to say 180. And then we can test it. So click on the green flag, click on me, and then it goes off. Now we want it then to hide, because I'll tell you why. It's because it'll be at the top of the next screen, so we want it to hide. And then we want to change to the new background. Now this does seem complicated, but you will get used to it. You can always pause the video. So I wanted to go to Galaxy, that's correct. And then when it gets to Galaxy, I want the rocket to be able to come down here, as if it's just going into the Galaxy. So I'm going to have to bring it down the page again. So I'm going to have to glide it right to the bottom of the page. And then I could get it to slowly move up the page. Now when I say slowly, this is called a variable here, so I could change that to 3 seconds so it goes slowly. Now I think my program is correct now, so let's just test it. So click on me, she goes up. Now I've got to debug it. Let's go back to the code and see if you can work out what Mr. Smith didn't do. There's something missing from here. Hopefully you realise that we've got to make the rocket show again. It's still gliding, but you can't see it. So let's do a final test. So something bad happened. Can you see? Something bad happened because I put the show in the wrong place. Now this is the power of this, is that basically you can change these blocks as many times as you want, and you can just experiment. Okay, and again I put it in the wrong place, so it's got to go in there. Sometimes it's quite good to make mistakes because then you learn about why it's not working. There we go. So I'm happy with that, and then I'm going to save it. Notice I'm logged in, so I created a free account, and you can do that with your family. So thanks for watching.